Hello, I'm Key Costego, and this video series has a content warning. If you're somewhat sensitive, please go watch some other stuff on the channel. And if you're good, let's get into it.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
Move.
You lunge to the side, picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air disturbed by the sudden motion of a massive body. The princess. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her. Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel her gaze on you.
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs. So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
What do you want?
I want to swallow you whole, and I will get what I want. You have no exit. You have no hope. You live and die by my whims, and my whims alone.
Don't ask her what she
Valid
wants.
point.
Just run for the blade upstairs and slay her with it.
She's gonna get
Is that
me.
all the advice you have? We don't even know what she looks like. Some specifics would be very helpful. She's just a princess. Don't overthink it.
That ain't no princess.
Clearly not.
We don't have to kill each other. What if I helped you? What if we left together? If you could get out of here on your own, wouldn't you have already left?
You cannot reason your way out of this, fledgling. There's no compromise with what I am.
What are you?
She's upfront about her intentions.
I mean, the real
She's
ones.
going to strike. Be somewhere else.
Be somewhere else.
We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble, keeps us alive. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive if it eventually kills us. We need to take back the momentum. We need to do something.
Survive, play dead, stand still. I guess survive.
You spring to a new patch of jungle, barely moving out of the way before the princess surges past you with a speed that makes her practically unseen.
Okay, so she's on that side now, so if I run for the stairs now... but why? Why do you want to kill
Why
me?
does anything kill anything else? She needs to.
I didn't say I wanted to kill you.
It sounds like she wants to do something even worse. What she wants only matters if she wins, and you're not going to let that happen.
Stop hiding and show yourself?
If you want to see me, you should get better at seeing.
She knows that her strength lies in shadows and secrets. She won't reveal herself unless she has to. A tickling sensation rises at the base of your neck. Flee! We can't keep doing this.
Stay alive.
You're a little slower this time. Or maybe she's a little faster. You avoid her slavering jaws, but she manages to graze you, her titanic momentum skinning you along your side. It's like being sideswiped by sandpaper. How is she that fast?
You're bleeding now.
You instinctively touch your side, testing her claim. It's wet and stings from the gentle touch of your fingertips. A costly mistake. We can't make it again. We will make it again unless something changes. We have to break the pattern. We need more time. She's cutting off our escape.
Our game is nearing its end.
I probably should have did it in the last one. You're deflecting?
And you bear your weakness to the world.
She's more tense this time. She means this next blow to be the last. The mere thought of moving again makes your bloodied side ache. We're exhausted. We're bleeding. We're still alive. We owe it to ourselves to move.
Again?
Once again, you narrowly avoid the full force of the impact, and once again you are too slow to come away unscathed. You're starting to get tired. You're making mistakes. This isn't working. We have to do something. We have to figure out a plan. Don't plan ahead. Act on the now. All that matters is that we stay alive. We're trying, but we can't keep this up much longer. We have to. We keep up or we die.
You're getting slow.
Hi.
She seizes the opportunity, lunging once again from the darkness, fangs bared and claws flashing. She attacks over and over and over, and each time she leaves with a little piece of you. Too tired to think, but we have to think. We have to move. It's too late. Before you get the chance to react, it's over. She makes her last foray from the dark corners of the room, unhinging her dripping maw, her eyes fierce and full of hunger. You do your best to dive out of the way, and you partially succeed.
Partially? What does that mean?
Partially?
Yeah.
Yes, the princess fails to swallow you whole. She only swallows your lower body.
Ew.
That's just as bad. That's worse, even.
Honestly, yeah.
It's death either way. At least this will be a faster end. You look down to see that the dirt between you is strewn with your intestines, trailing all the way up and disappearing behind her blood-stained teeth. Your legs are nowhere to be seen. You start to go into shock.
Ew.
The princess, bloody saliva dripping from her lips, idly gnaws on what's left of you as you rapidly fade away.
I didn't mean to do that. I still need to devour you. And it doesn't count if you're dead.
We're not dead, But you don't have time to protest her premature observation of your death, because everything goes dark, and you die.
I'm not allowed to sass because I actually die. Okay, 3, the den. Oh god.
You're on a path in the That didn't work. We're going in with a plan this time. We're not getting stuck in another loop, just acting on instinct. We're stuck in a big enough loop as it is. Instinct was keeping us alive, until it wasn't. So what are we supposed to do? Great, so you've been here before. That doesn't bode well. You're not supposed to have been here before. This is supposed to be one and done.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a different jungle.
So you know more than you're letting on. Yeah, what he said. Of course I do, but believe me, it's in your best interests. The more you know about the princess, the more difficult your task will be. And why is that? Having me explain why would defeat the whole purpose. There are simply some things I'm not allowed to tell you. It's a hard rule. And whose rule is it? Who's telling you to boss us around? We've died twice already, and if you want us to stay alive this time, it's in your best interests to give us an edge. It's my rule, and this conversation is over.
Okay, what's the plan?
She spent as much time as she could in the shadows. So we're gonna draw her out. But she's fast. And she's clever. We're clever too. So this time we're not gonna let her cut off our escape. We're gonna lead her to the stairs ourselves. It'll be a lot easier to deal with her once we can actually see what she is. But you already know what she is. She's a princess. Yeah, right. A princess we couldn't see. And one that had big, sharp teeth, too. How about you stick to describing things and we'll stick to doing our job? Sharp teeth.
The path is different than it was before.
You're right. This is different, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm starting to lose track of things myself. Ground is ground. It doesn't matter what shape it takes. We'll adapt. If it looks different, that's because the situation has started to spiral out of everyone's control. So please, Disavow yourself of the notion that you can just come back here and fix this place if you manage to make a mess before that line of thinking leaves you yet another world in ruin. Though, as evidenced by you dying twice, it's safe to assume the fates of the worlds you've left behind don't concern you very much. Consider this your last opportunity to make things right, for you and for the rest of existence, but especially for you. Clearly we're not getting anything out of him.
What answers? What is going on here? What do you know that you're not telling me?
Like I said, I've told you as much as I can without putting you at a disadvantage. If anything, I've told you too much. A disadvantage? You've already died by her hands twice. You shouldn't need much in the way of motivation.
Because I'm trying to get the non-violent endings. I don't want to just leave. No matter what happens next, it seems like all of our answers are in the cabin. Let's see this through, proceed to the cabin.
You make your way down to the cabin. Your fated confrontation awaits. You know what to do. Alright, we've been over the plan. Goad her out of the shadows, make her show herself. And what if she doesn't want to be seen? We'll figure out a way to make it happen. And if that doesn't make her any easier to fight, it will. It's always easier to fight what you can see, no matter how big or toothy she might be.
Proceed into the cabin.
The interior is dark and overgrown. Vines and brush obscure so much of the place that, had you not seen the exterior, you might not have noticed this was a cabin at all.
There's only a mirror.
The only furniture of note, if you could call it that, is a knotted stump, a pristine blade embedded in its exposed rings. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you're going to do this right. Of course that damn mirror's back, and of course he's not saying anything about it. Why is it following us? What are you talking about? There is no mirror. There's just the stump and a narrow tunnel that leads to the basement. He isn't tricking us. Can you feel the wind? It's telling us there's a hole in that wall. Our eyes deceive us. Then either way we need to investigate. Might as well get started.
Approach the mirror.
You really think being unarmed is best? I hope you know what you're doing. But let's not forget that it's up here if things go south. The steel claw makes us sloppy, too confident. We'll be faster without it. You step forward, approaching the small hole that leads to the basement, hesitating before you enter the princess's lair. Haven't you been paying attention? We're not hesitating. This supposed hole is blocked by that old mirror. That mirror isn't part of this place. It's seeped through from somewhere else. It, if there even is an it, is a hallucination. Like you said, you've been here twice before. Your mind was bound to start playing tricks on you eventually. It went away after we reached out to it last time. Might as well try wiping it clean again. What's the harm?
Wipe the mirror clean.
Reach forward and wave your hand over the open hole leading to the basement. See? Nothing. Tricks of the eye. No one sense can be trusted on its own. You step forward into the darkness. If there were once stairs leading into the basement, there is nothing left to attest to their existence now. There is only a long tunnel of packed earth, growing more narrow as you descend. It smells of mould and decay. The damp walls leave streaks of dirt along your body as you're forced to hunch, then finally squat down on all fours in order to continue. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favour. As you crawl forward on hands and knees, you're met only with the sounds of ambient earth. No voice slinks confidently up the stairs. No entity threatens violence or pleads for safety. Stay quiet. Don't give her a sound.
We don't have to fight. I'm ready to let you out of here. Lie. Yeah, we'll do that. We don't have to fight. I'm ready to let you out of here.
The princess leaves your remark unanswered. See,
is she okay?
She knows. We have to be like her. Focused, present, patient. I suppose it'll take a little more than words to coax her out. Let's keep going. You put the voices to the back of your mind and proceed down the stairs. The basement is dark and cavernous, a gaping maw threatening to swallow you whole. There is no light here, save for what little starlight has managed to filter down the tunnel. And though you can't see the vastness of the space, you can feel it. You're exposed. Stay on your toes. We take a step into the shadows, and as soon as she moves, we jump back, make her follow. From there, we trap her in the tunnel, draw her out of the cabin, whatever it takes to get her out of her element. Then we're safe.
We don't have to do
She
this.
doesn't respond. It seems that she thinks you do, in fact, have to do this.
Step into the shadows and try to lure her out.
You step into the shadows and are enveloped in total darkness. Your heart pounds in your chest, ears pricked, eyes wide despite the inky blackness, waiting for any sign of movement. That's right. Keep steady. Don't let your nerves get the better of you. There, she's about to strike. With the near silence of a determined predator, the princess erupts from the shadows. But you've already started your swift escape. That's stage one. Now stay focused. You dive into the tunnel and begin scrambling up towards the cabin. You hear her behind you, claws raking at the dirt, chains rattling, then snapping, breaths hot and heavy with the effort of the ascent. But the sounds are coming slower now, the breaths pained and stuttering. You no longer sense frantic motion behind you in the tunnel. You risk a glance.
I got the flea achievement.
She is a broad and sickly creature, her withered and emaciated flesh clinging to bones too large to fit in the narrow space. She managed to squirm her way into the tunnel in pursuit, but now she's stuck, incapable of either moving towards you or returning to the open darkness of the basement below.
No, I'm sorry.
So that's what she's become. She wasn't like this when we started. Was she? No, she wasn't. Looking at her makes me feel sad. Yeah, now that we can see her, she doesn't feel like much of a threat at all. She paws futilely at the air between you, but her shoulders are pinned in the narrow confines of the opening. She has no hope of reaching you. And she realizes this. Her arm goes limp, flopping to the dirt floor of the tunnel, and her eyes fall from yours, defeated. Her eyes look up at yours, wide, pleading. Come back, you can imagine them saying. Don't leave me here. But you shouldn't listen to the sad eyes of a vanquished enemy. She wants nothing more than to change places with you.
I mean, yeah, I'm sure, but yeah, it's kind of sad. I ain't gonna lie.
If you want us to ignore her, then why would you tell us any of that wide, pleasing eyes begging for mercy business to begin with? All it does is make us feel conflicted. I'm merely describing things as they are. It's not my fault that her eyes had something to say, even if that something was a ploy, which, if I might stress, I pointed out to you. What should we do about her anyway? Can she still end the world like this? She hurts. We should help. Now let's think for a second. Let's reevaluate. Should we help her? Well, I do feel bad looking at her. There's no way to get close without being in reach of those claws. We've come this far, but can we trust a creature that until a few short moments ago fully intended to eat us? What an excellent question with an equally excellent answer. No, you should not help her. She's clearly just waiting for you to drop your guard. Beyond that, you do well to remember that she poses a threat to reality itself. She is stuck, and you abandoned a perfectly usable weapon right behind you. How about you turn around, get the blade, and end this once and for all?
I feel like this could go very much two different ways. Approach her? Trying to not murder.
What are you doing? We could all just turn around and be done. What's your game?
Exploration is my game.
You and I both know there's no game. He's made a bad choice. As you draw near, she readies her claws, raising them to strike. Don't flinch. Show her our resolve.
Offer her your hand?
You reach forward, offering the princess your hand. How ridiculous. She was about to kill you. Do you really think getting stuck in a tunnel for less than a minute has fundamentally changed her?
Yes, she's a victim of her own nature, just like we are.
If all she wanted was to kill us, she'd have kept trying. But she's hesitating, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
Yes, she is. Her eyes shift from faux ferocity to confusion to a gentle sadness. She lowers her claw and places it in your hand. Ugh. Do you think we can pull her out of there?
I hope so.
Try. It's a bad death being stuck in place.
And what if it doesn't work? What if we can't trust her? We have to trust someone else eventually. It's either him or her, and I know you don't trust him. I don't even trust the rest of you, but that doesn't mean we have to go around pulling bloodthirsty monsters out of perfectly good traps. But we haven't seen what happens if we help her. Doesn't that mean it's worth exploring?
Exactly.
I can't argue with that. Alright, let's see what happens. Maybe we'll finally get some answers.
Pull her free.
You tug, but the princess remains stuck. What a shame that the bones of her massive form are too large to fit through the narrow tunnel. Keep pulling. All he has are empty words. He can't undermine us if we don't listen. You are all infuriating to work with. But fine, you continue to pull on the princess's arm and she starts to budge. She pushes with her back legs, clawing at the earth, a burst of strength aiding your efforts. The dirt and stone start to crumble around her. That's the spirit. Keep going. Yes, quickly, before the whole tunnel comes down on top of us. Yes, wouldn't that be an interesting development? What if the very nature of this tunnel was such that you were incapable of leaving safely with the princess? How devious. Does it collapse? Yes,
Aww.
it does. As you pull the princess free, the tunnel around you does exactly what you thought it might do. It falls apart.
I mean, that makes sense.
No, we have to get out. We have to get out.
It's too late to scramble for freedom now, little voice. You didn't think just pulling her out of there would be consequence-free, did you? Well, the ceiling collapses, heavy stones tumbling down on top of you and the princess, and I don't believe it. Let me guess. Everything goes dark, and we die. No, not yet. You open your eyes to see the princess, her body stretched over yours, her face wincing as she shields you from the heavy rocks and debris. There is space enough for you to move, at least for now. I'll be damned. So there's more to her after all.
The pack is always stronger than the lone hunter. We save her, she saves us. She understands.
Well, you can't keep saving each other forever. Her arms are already starting to give out, and there's a whole mountain of earth on top of her, just waiting to bury you both.
We can always dig, both of us.
It beats suffocating to death down here in the dark.
True.
Then let's do it.
Dig through the earth together.
You and the princess dig through the loose earth of the collapsed tunnel together. How sweet. But it seems the harder you try to claw your way forward, the denser the path becomes. All of this effort, and for what? A chance to end the world? I hope you fail.
I hope you
His
fail.
words are nothing. Pay attention to what you feel and see.
It doesn't matter if you ignore me, because I'm just telling you what's happening, and what's happening is that you and the princess are getting tired, and your mouths are full of dirt, and it's getting harder to breathe. Harder to breathe is still breathing. Well, either way, the two of you are miserable. I don't know, I feel like we're forming a bond with her. Can't be all that bad if we're bonding. She's not capable of bonding. Need I remind you that as soon as she saw you, she tried to eat you? You are not friends, and as soon as you're out, you'll see just how seriously she values your life. If you were so sure we were going to fail, you wouldn't sound so desperate. You're just hot air. There's nothing of substance to you at all, is there? I have plenty of substance. I have feelings and desires. Like my desire to save everyone in the world. I feel that very strongly.
Do you smell it? fresh air.
Claw your way to freedom.
With one final massive heave of her body, the princess pushes her way out of the tunnel, leaving you behind in the quickly collapsing space you once shared. Yours was an alliance of convenience, just as I predicted. She has left you to die, buried and alone. You are unbelievably petty. Oh, my pettiness is nothing compared to yours. You were delighting in my suffering and the damnation of the entire world just moments ago.
She hasn't left. She's coming back. Don't you hear her?
No, she isn't. She's... How many times do you have to be wrong before you stop talking? The princess stares down at you from the opening. Before the tunnel can finish sealing itself, she cranes her elongated neck and gently plucks you from the earth. She carries you across the half-collapsed ruin that was a cabin, carefully setting you down by the door. If there were to be a record, let it show that I tried. I really, really tried. But there won't be a record, will there?
Open the door and step into the wilds.
You open the door,
Aw.
two of you stepping out into the fresh air and collapsing together onto the dewy grass of the outside world. Ha! We're outside and there's ground beneath our feet. I don't see any oblivion. Admit it. There never was an end of the world coming, was there?
He does not reply.
Yeah, we got him there, didn't we? Don't think I've ever seen him stunned into silence before.
He's gone.
Can't you feel the hole where he was? He's gone.
Fancy that.
I'm not sure gone is good.
The princess rests her head close to you. Her eyes stare into yours amid the untextured threads of a world unraveled. Are we free, they ask? I'm cold. I don't want to be cold. Aw, well, we collected another one. That's interesting. I wonder what would happen if we left.